Since the beginning of the year. So far, there's been almost a 10% increase in fuel prices since the beginning of the year. Fuel prices that average about 4.6 cedis per liter at the beginning of the year currently sells at about 5.2 cedis per liter. This translates into Ghana cedi of about 23 Ghana cedi per gallon. This represents about 2 cedi increments over the period under consideration. The price hikes has been largely attributable. Let me take it again. These price hikes have been largely attributed to the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi against major trading currencies in the country. The ordinary Ghanaian cannot be held responsible for the inefficiency and bad management practice of the economy by the Akufo-Addo government. This increment is coming especially at a time when businesses are suffering and bearing the brunt of COVID restrictions, demonstrates that the Akufo-Addo government is insensitive and heartless to the ordinary Ghanaian. It is equally important to put a record that Ghana is a net exporter of oil. Therefore, when prices of oil at the international market rises, Ghana must benefit, and this benefit must be translated to the ordinary Ghanaian. When prices go up, because we're a net exporter, we gain more. And so it cannot be the case that international oil market prices are going up, and yet Ghanaians are suffering from the windfall that we make from petroleum exports. The recent increase have only resulted in worsening of the living conditions of the already impoverished Ghanaian under the Akufo-Addo presidency. It does appear that things are taking for the worse as international rating agencies have begun sounding the alarm bells on Ghana's huge and unsustainable debt levels. One cannot but come to the conclusion that the Akufo-Addo-led government has run out of ideas. Hence, their decision to resort to such a rampant petroleum increase. Notice is hereby served that the minority and the people of Ghana, for that matter, will not tolerate any further introduction of increments that would only exacerbate the suffering of the Ghanaian. Government must think out of the box. Government must be innovative. Already, transport owners have indicated that they intend increasing their transport prices by 10%. This would also result in hardship to the ordinary Ghanaian. We are therefore calling on government to ensure that it takes the necessary steps to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian and businesses who are already suffering under the effects of COVID. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're saying the government can intervene to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. And I'm also saying that when international oil prices rise, we make a windfall. And so the Ghanaian cannot be punished because Ghana is making a windfall. You can use that windfall to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. That's also why we have the price stabilization and recovery levy. And I do know that from my checks, we have about 600 million cedis sitting in that account. And so there's money to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. And I think that government should consider that option. Thank you. The next one for me is on your first submission. Minister has absorbed himself of anything. He said this is a cabinet decision and that he was only carrying out a decision that had been approved by cabinet. What do you make of that? Even on the petroleum, a chunk of the price is made out of taxes. And you recall that recently they increased the taxes on petroleum. So government can look at the taxes. But on Boche Jaku's statement, I've been a minister before. It is the Minister of Energy who takes the cabinet memo to cabinet for approval. And so the first point is that, did he have to take that cabinet memo to cabinet in the first instance? Secondly, if cabinet says terminate, you can have a negotiated terminated settlement. The fact that cabinet has said we should terminate doesn't mean that you should rush through the process. And that's why we are saying that all those officials, was the AG involved? Was the Minister of Finance involved? Did we attempt negotiating with them first before proceeding to terminate? As it's turned out to be, the decision for that termination is moot, because the court has thrown that decision away. And so I think that we should go into this matter. We do this because in future, we do not want to have a recurrence of this situation. Already there's a decision by cabinet that's supposed to guide them, a roadmap. Did they follow that roadmap in terms of judgment debts? Because to lose 164 million is a huge amount, and we cannot just sit and gloss over it. Something must be done about it.
Finally, is this signs of things to come? Because we are told others are also at the national faculties over the same termination of public disagreement.
Yes, but because they are before the courts, we do not want to prejudice that. But clearly, something must be done. Yeah. So, that is not tenable because if you read the letter from Mr. Boachajapo, he claims that the company breached their side of the contractual obligation. It was not because we had excess capacity. The reason was that the people didn't have a license, and so he was terminating. The court has ruled against him. Also, we've been informed that government has extended the AXA agreement. That agreement has expired, and yet government has proceeded to extend that agreement even without parliamentary approval. And we wish to serve notice that that extension is illegal and cannot stand. You cannot say that you have so much power, you have excess capacity, and yet when these IPPs, their contracts have expired, instead of you allowing them to walk away, you are deciding to extend it. That is double standard, and we think that that cannot hold. So clearly, this issue of capacity doesn't come in, because the reason for termination was not based on capacity, but was based on what the minister understood to be a breach, which has turned out to be false.
Just to follow up, do you see candidates for causing financial loss to the state in this scheme? Do you see candidates?
Okay, okay. Dealing with such issues. You can do a half-hour motion, you can file a motion, you can do question time. There are so many other things. Even the committee itself can be asked to investigate. And so clearly, there are several ways of addressing that. And then the issue of causation of financial loss. Certainly, the state is supposed to pay 164 million, and that was avoidable. Why was that decision taken? Did we go through the right processes? Did we exhaust all other options? So certainly that will come to play, and we'll investigate that as well. Thank you.